You know, all I can say is that I am a changed person. I am not the same. I belong in Colorado. Hello everyone, welcome to the video. For this video, this is going to be more of like a memory, like vlog kind of video. When I went to Steamboat Springs in Colorado about 2 months ago, might be 3 months ago, depending on when this video comes up. But there are some changes, so I'll make it brief. As you can see, got the posters up, and then hair is also kind of orange right now. That's new hair color. I will include a couple pictures as well as the video clips I took throughout the entire trip. This is not the first time I went to Colorado. The first time I went to Colorado, I went to Estes Park, Colorado, and that was 2 years ago. At the beginning of this trip, our family left really early in the morning because from where we live, going to Colorado, I think it's about a 12-hour drive, or it might even be longer than that. We left quite early in the morning, and we did stop at several places. We left early in the morning, and we drove for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then we stopped in Lyman, Colorado. The landscape of Lyman, Colorado is pretty barren. There aren't, as far as I know, there aren't very big name destinations in Lyman, Colorado. Our family stayed in Lyman, Colorado for one night, and then we left. After we left Lyman, Colorado, we drove some more. Going towards Steamboat Springs, we stopped in Thornton, Colorado for some sightseeing. And there was like the rock formations that we stopped by to see. They were really big, and it was really cool to see. And the river was really cool too. And also, I don't know, at least for me, Colorado like smelled like really nice. Like the air felt really nice and very pure kind of. And we also went through the Roosevelt National Forest Reserve, I think. Going through the Roosevelt National Forest Reserve or Park, it's one long drive. You were seeing like trees, different landscape with the mountains on both sides of the road, and it was a long drive through there, but I felt like it was worth it. I didn't take that many photos. I don't think I did. I was just trying to be there present in the moment and looking at everything. After going through the forest and driving some more, we finally arrived in Steamboat. And the place, or like the lodge that we had reserved, it wasn't ready for us quite yet, so we stayed at a temporary hotel for the time being. And our lodge was a part of like the same hotel company, but it was like farther down, and people were still, I think it was not fully cleaned yet. So after we arrived at our temporary hotel location, dropped all of our luggage off, then our family went down to the main town of Steamboat Springs, and we looked around and tried to see if there was anything good to eat because we were hungry. We stopped by this Thai restaurant or this Chinese restaurant, and after that we looked around for some more. I also got some hats, which I'll show you right now. So I got this one, and it's like a Bigfoot symbol kind of bucket hat. I do like bucket hats. That's the new thing for me. Got that one, and then I think I got this beforehand. This one's also new. I don't know if I... See, this one is not as like expanded out. It's just very like... I don't think I got that with me when I went to Colorado. This one, however, I did. This one is a beanie. And this one is very tight. Like, it's like keeping me warm. There you can see it. I'm really excited to wear this in the wintertime. And I'm pushing myself on how much I can manage beanies in 90 degree and above weather. After lunch, we continued to do more sightseeing and walked through the town, and We arrived back to our temporary hotel and we stayed there for one night. Also, side note, I was completing a US Women's History course around this time, so I was doing a presentation studying for it at the same time. Or when we came back, that's when I started to work on it on vacation. Thank goodness for internet connection. And also, since Colorado is, I think, an hour before or an hour after than Central Time, that's a whole nother thing, which I'm not going to get into. We stayed one night at this temporary hotel lodge, and then the next day, our lodge was fully cleaned, and we could take our stuff and then move it to a new lodge. And inside of this lodge, it was so spacious and it was so big inside. There were 2 levels to it, and there was also a downstairs area too. I stayed on the 2nd floor of the lodge, and we also did some grocery shopping later that day, if I'm not mistaken. We moved into the new lodge, and then the next day was the highlight of our trip, which was the Riverboat Ride. And this is something I had already done before the last time we went to Colorado, and let me tell you, I was not prepared for it at all. Because I did not bring the right clothing I was not wearing the right clothing, to put it simply. I think I was wearing like a wool jacket. I'll include a photo right here. I was not ready. But this time, I was ready. The day beforehand, on Monday, we went to Walmart to get some groceries, and then also got some clothes for us to wear when we would go onto the riverboat ride. I got this polyester jacket, which does not absorb water, and it was great, and that's what I wore, and I felt very prepared this time. We left very early in the morning, I think around like 7:30 or 8 a.m. because it takes a while to drive to Steamboat and then to the destination. We went onto the Colorado River, and we arrived at the riverboat place where there's like a pickup location, and then our tour guide drove us to the destination. I think the drive with a tour guide, I think it was about like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and then we arrived at the Colorado River around like 11 a.m. And here's a little short clip of how that ride went. Overall, I think the riverboat ride was something to remember for sure. It was such a great time. I really liked it. I also went kayaking. I also tried doing a kayak. When we were on the river, Dad brought a kayak so he could take one of us to go kayaking, and then we could like take turns being on like the raft with our tour guides, and then we could like take turns. And I tried that, and it was actually not bad. I really like kayaking. It was something new, and I'm glad I decided to do that. After that entire riverboat ride, all of us were super tired. So after the ride, our tour guide took us back to our destination, or took us back to the place where we got dropped off at. And then we went back to the lodge, and then I think we were all extremely tired after that. So that was, the following day was June 9th, and that was a Wednesday, and our family took a break that day, and we didn't do a whole lot that day. I do remember I visited a bakery with both parents of mine, and we also visited this coffee shop as well. Yeah, not a whole lot happened that day. It was just very cool, chilled down day. The next day was June 10th, and at the beginning, I really wasn't sure what we were planning to do that day, but we eventually decided to go to this botanical garden later that day. But before I did that, let me show you a clip of the outside of the lodge we were staying at. The area we were staying at was really beautiful, and it was very clean too, which I've noticed. Colorado is like very efficient with how they deal with waste and littering. I think there's a littering fee if people do that. Yeah, don't litter at all anywhere. Then later that day we went to the Yampa Botanical Garden. I think that's what the name of it is. I took a lot of photos from there, and it was very well put together, like the flowers and the greenery, and the garden was very well put together. And there was also a river like kind of like outside the botanical garden, and I'll include a couple clips right now. I do remember it being very hot that day, so we got our stuff and then we left. I do remember that the three younger brothers went to I think they went to like a gym, and like there's like an outdoor swimming pool too. So then we went over there and we picked all of them up, and they were there for like maybe like 4+ hours. They were there for a long time, and they were ready to go, and so then we picked them up, and then we went back to our lodge. We went to this burger restaurant that our tour guide was telling us a couple days ago, so we went there later that day. And I don't remember the name of it at this moment, but I'll include like the link to their restaurant in the description. The place was really good. I would suggest for you to go there if you ever plan to go to Steamboat Springs. There were like a lot of good options. I think I got a veggie burger with like fried onions and some other ingredients in it. It was really good. June 10th was our last full day in Colorado. We left pretty early that morning from Steamboat, and I think we went to Starbucks to get something for breakfast, and then we were on our way back home. We did stop at a couple places. We stopped in Kremlin, Colorado, and there's like this gas station, like also like convenience store there as well. And I got some souvenir items for some friends. Then our destination was to go to Hays, Kansas, and that was the closest place to where we were at the time. So we stayed in one night in Hays, and then the next day we went to Wichita, Kansas, and we had lunch there. And then we arrived back home around like 7 p.m. It was a long trip, but I do feel like it was worth the experience. yeah, I think that pretty much concludes the Steamboat Springs, Colorado vlog. Yeah, definitely in the future, if I get like a camera that could record audio pretty well, that I'd like to do like, I don't know if I want to go out in public, like, I don't know, I'd be like very discreet with it. You couldn't tell if I was vlogging, you wouldn't be able to tell. I'd just be looking down. I do think that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed the trip and it was a great time with the family. Oh, and another thing. So our tour guide was telling us about this, like the Steamboat Springs curse. And the best way as to how I can describe it is where people will come to Steamboat and they feel like they can never leave because Steamboat is this town and then there are like mountains surrounding it, so it feels like you can't escape it. And many people spend many years, they just spend like a lot of time in Steamboat and they feel like they can't leave. Also, I forgot to mention, I am double vaccinated, so it felt really nice to go on vacation since the pandemic started last year. And I think when I was in Colorado, I didn't wear the mask even one time. I was just outside the entire time. I didn't feel, I don't know, constricted or felt like I needed to wear a mask. Yeah, I just think it's important to be safe whenever you're traveling anywhere, so you can keep yourself safe and also the people around you to be safe. But that's just me. That's not me encouraging or like asking you to do anything. Yeah, anyway, I think this video is just about done. And if you are from Colorado or from Steamboat Springs and you're watching this, I'd like to know if there are any other like worthwhile destinations to visit if I go back to Colorado or anyone is watching this, they might want to go to Colorado. Yeah, leave it down in the comment section. I'm really curious. On a side note, our tour guide did recommend us to go during the winter time because like snowboarding and skiing it's something that a lot of people like to do during the winter time. And I would definitely do that if I could. That'd be so cool. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and if I think of anything else, I'll put it down in the description. And also remember to check the link in the description about Haiti and how you can help the people in Haiti, as well as some other countries that experienced an earthquake, I think a couple weeks ago. And then also right now, currently, there is a hurricane affecting the southern states right now, and a lot of people are out of power and electricity, and I'll try to find some links about that and put it in the description as well. But I think that's about it. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.